You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Hella Well with Danielle podcast, your weekly mental vacation for the busy woman who just needs a moment to pause, breathe, and woo-saw from the daily grind. I am your host, Danielle Washington, and today I want to explore a topic that I don't think we talk about often that I feel is really important. The topic of how to release the weight of the battles that aren't even ours. How do we let go of these things that aren't our responsibilities, not our obligation, and manage our energy by creating boundaries that make space for our peace and joy that we all want in our life. I know firsthand how easy it is, especially for women, to feel like we have to be everything to everyone else. We're supposed to be the mother. Especially if you're a Black woman, you're like, I'm supposed to be the strong Black woman, so I'm supposed to definitely take care of not just my family, but I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be the tree. I'm supposed to be the root. I don't know. It just feels like the weight of the world is constantly on our shoulders, and it is getting heavier and heavier each year. You think it's going to get easier. It seems like it's just getting heavier when we don't have the tools to help us to release some of this weight. We don't have these conversations like this today. It's easy to forget that we're not meant to fight every battle. But where do we draw the line? How do you decide which battles are yours and which battles are not yours? And it's a question I've been pondering a lot recently, and I wanted to explore a little bit more with you today. But before we get too deep into everything, I wanted us to take 3 intentional inhales and exhales so we can tune into this space, really being connected as one. And this time, before we get started, I wanted you to try this exercise with me. I want you to imagine a place that brings you peace. For me, it's being at the ocean. It's hearing the waves crashing in and out. It's feeling the light breeze on my face or my body or my skin. It's hearing the birds. It's smelling the sea salt. When I'm in this peaceful space of being at the ocean, I imagine no one's there. That's my peaceful serenity spot. I found this magical, empty beach, and it's just me. So imagine you're in whatever spot does that for you. And if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, do so. And when you're able to fully lock in that visual, start focusing in on your breath. Notice the inhale and the exhale. I'm going to ask you to begin to take a deep and slow inhale through your nose. And as you slowly exhale, relax further into this peaceful space that you have created. Again, inhale deeply and exhale, releasing tension in your body. And one last deep inhale, deep, 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 and exhaling it all out. Letting your breath go back to its normal rhythm. Opening your eyes if they were closed. And let's jump into today's topic. My grandmother would be so freaking proud of me right now because I'm about to quote a Bible verse. Yep, I said it. I'm about to quote a Bible verse. The fact that I even know a verse, yes, I'm hella patting myself on the back for this one because I'm shocked too. It's not that I don't believe in Bible, because I do. I do know Bible stories. But for me to say, oh yeah, it's John such and such, whatever. Nah, I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. But today I felt it was really appropriate to quote this Bible verse because I felt like it was just so spot on for today's conversation. And actually it was in church. I went to church not too long ago. My cousin was being inducted as the head pastor of her Baptist church. I love the fact that she is the head pastor of a Black Baptist church, and her associate pastor is a woman too. So there's two Black female pastors running this Black Baptist church, which I love. I love, 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 love. But like, I was listening to the sermon, and this pastor was talking about 2 Chronicles 20:15, and it is stuck in my head. Like, it was weeks ago, and this verse keeps coming up. It came up to me when I was in Egypt. It's coming up again today. And the verse is, if you don't know it, if you're like me, it is, the battle is not yours, but God's. I don't know when this was written. Like, I couldn't tell you, like, oh, this is written AD or BC. All I know is this ancient wisdom is still hidden and ringing true today. It teaches us that not all battles are meant for us. The some are not meant for us to handle. Some are meant for us to hand over, to acknowledge that they are beyond our human capacity. Like, we think that we're superhumans, that we can do it all, we can handle it all, and we can be everything to everyone else. And that gets to the heart of today's topic, the need to set boundaries, not just with people, but the need to set boundaries with the battle we choose to fight. We're out here talking about setting limits. I know. Oh my God, setting limits. Like, how do I do that? Why would I do that? But yes, it's time to start setting some limits on what we can handle and understand when it's time to ask for help, when it's time to surrender to a higher power. Whether that's God, whether that's Allah, whether that's Buddha, whether that's just the universe. It's time to figure out, when is something yours, when is something that you shouldn't even be a part of, and when is it time to surrender to a higher power. Now you may ask, like, why is this even important? Why should I care? What happens when I don't set these boundaries? Like, I'm used to being Superwoman. I'm used to, that's all I know. That's what my mother did. That's what my grandmother did. That's the way I was raised to operate. But to put it simply, if you don't choose these battles and to let go and to remember and figure out which ones are yours and which ones ain't even time for you to be messing with, it's going to drain your energy until you figure this out. To put it simply, you're going to be consistently drained, tired, feeling like you're on a hamster wheel and you can't get off. We spread ourselves so freaking thin, trying to fight everyone's battles, to fight every battle that comes our way, that takes a toll on our mental, our emotional, and physical well-being. It's like trying to run a marathon without training. Like, you're doing a 5K or a 10K and you've done not a day of training. You get on the field, the gun goes off, boop. At some point, you're going to hit a wall. You're going to be burnt out. And that's what this is like when you take on different battles. And you may be I'm calling it a battle, but it may be in your mind an obligation. It may be a challenge. It may be a responsibility. It may be a task. It may be another check mark on your to-do list. Some of these battles, obligation, tasks, check marks on the to-do list are not ours to fight. Some of these are not ours to fight, and it's time for us to ask for help or surrender to a higher being. I don't know. Think about it. Like, when was the last time you felt utterly drained? I mean, like, just stupid drained. And ask yourself, were you trying to solve a problem that wasn't yours? Were you carrying the burden, the weight that wasn't meant for you? We all do it from time to time. It's a part of being human, especially when you care deeply for other people. As a caregiver for my parents, I find myself taking on battles for them. Like, I look at my dad and I'm like, dude, I just need you to let go of some of these things. And so he takes on my mom's battles and challenges. He takes on random battles and challenges that are not even ones that are important. I literally feel like sometimes he's like, oh my God, the sky is falling because we're going on vacation in a month and I haven't picked a restaurant. And I'm like, dude, seriously? And so then I take on his battles, and then I'm getting all stressed out and I feel like my energy is being drained for a battle that's not mine. For a battle that is not mine to carry. It's a battle that I can give to a higher power to ask for help for him to realize his own battles that are not his. But it's a part of being human. But every time we take on these battles that are not ours, we use a precious, beautiful, magical energy that could be used elsewhere. It could be used in areas that are truly needed, that need our attention, like our own well-being, our happiness, our joy, getting back to moments like in our breathing exercise that give us peace, that give us that serenity. And then on the flip side of this, there are those battles that we engage in that we engage in with almost without even thinking about it. These are the ones that seem to rise out of nowhere, but they're driven by something that's even much deeper. It's our pride. They're driven by our pride, our past wounds, our inner child, our triggers. And I don't know. I find these to be so frivolous, and I get mad at myself when I catch myself in these battles. But I do. It's like, consider the last time you got into an argument that felt so trivial and frivolous. Like, it didn't really matter who was right about what movie fact you were thinking about, or, who forgot to throw out the trash. Are we really fighting about these type of things? Yes, we are. Or we have these conversations in our head that we're battling out with someone and they don't even know we're having these fights. But yet we've created these battles, internal battles about something in our head, something did, or we're arguing about something that okay, girl, why are we doing this? Someone cut me off, and now you're in a battle over about someone cutting you off. And they come out of nowhere, and they are deeply rooted in something. They are deeply rooted in what seems like a small issue on the surface. Underneath of those surface issues, it's about our need to be right. It's about the need to be validated. Maybe it's not, but oftentimes it is. Or maybe it was something about you're fighting about something because you felt unheard or disrespected. Whatever it is, these battles that are on the surface that seem so pointless, so silly, are draining AF. They're draining our energy. They shift our focus away from what truly matters. And they pull on us. They pull us into these crazy spirals of battles and challenge and negativity. And that before we know it, we're on this hamster wheel even further, and we're feeling the sweat dripping from our head. And we're stressed out. We're stressed out AF. But what happens if you could recognize these battles? What happens if we were able to see these triggers? What if we could understand that these battles are often not about the situation at hand, but they're about something deeper within us? What if we could take a step back, breathe, pause, and choose not to engage? Think about that. What if we were able to literally just, okay, I'm stepping back, take a moment to breathe, and I have decided I'm not going to engage. Now that right there would be some matrix level-ish. That would be some matrix level-ish. If we were able to just step back, breathe, and say, no, not today, Satan. Not my battle, not my circus, not my monkey. When we don't set these boundaries, when we don't set these boundaries with our battles, or even end up in battles that our pride, our inner child, and our past traumas have opted for us to start fighting, that we were like, did I sign up for this? Did I agree to this? But our pride, our inner child, those past traumas and triggers are like, nope, yep, we did. We end up carrying on unnecessary weight when we do these things. We let our peace and our well-being slip through our fingers. We let those moments of peace and serenity release and melt like it's a butter on a hot day in Egypt. But here's the good news. When we start learning how to recognize this, that we're doing this, that's when we can start setting these boundaries. Not just setting boundaries with people, but setting boundaries in the battles that we choose to fight or don't choose to fight. When we can start differentiating between what's ours to handle and what's not. When we can decide what battles our pride has accepted, that we decided, no, we're going to decline on behalf of the entire body. And what happens when we do set these things? Or that when we decline these battles that are coming from wounded spaces, we free up space. We free up our energy. We feel more expanded. We feel like we can breathe a little bit better. We feel like, oh, my neck and my shoulders aren't hurting as much. We create room. We create room for peace. We create room for joy. We create room for things that really matter in our lives. Like us having those moments of peace and serenity. We start moving from being so stressed out to feeling more peaceful, feeling more zen, feeling more grounded, feeling more in our bodies, and not feel like we're just these robots just going and doing what we're supposed to be doing on a day-to-day basis, and we're just on the hamster wheel. We get into these peaceful moments. We feel more connected with ourselves, which helps us feel more connected with the people around us. And that's where this healing and growth comes in. It's about understanding our triggers, acknowledging our past wounds and how they're showing up. It's about realizing how they push us into these battles that are not serving us. It's about setting boundaries with these internal battles. It's about choosing peace over being right, over being validated. It's about letting go of our pride and focusing on love and understanding. It's about taking moments to pour into ourselves and using our precious energy to take care of ourselves instead of draining ourselves. It's about finding those moments when it's like, okay, this ain't mine. I can't handle this alone. I need help. Whether that's human help and support, or whether that's help from a higher being, a higher source from the universe, whatever it is, that I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. It ain't humanly possible. I want it to be humanly possible because I've bought into the trap that I can do it all. But I'm starting to realize that it's a trap. It's a lie. It's a lie that I can do it all. It's a lie that because I'm a Black woman, I can take on everything for everyone else. It's a lie that every obligation that comes my way, every responsibility, every task that comes to my door is mine. There comes a point in our lives that we have to say, nah, God, I need you. Universe, I need you. I need you right now. I need you to take care of me. I need you to help me realize this ain't mine. I need you to maybe help me move my hand from this battle, this challenge, this responsibility, because I can't let go myself, but I need you to help me let go. Sometimes it's that time. And when we do this, when we're consciously able to decide to not engage in some of these battles, these obligations, these responsibilities, we find that we have so much more energy. We find that we have this sense of peace and calm that helps us navigate life in a more healthier way. And isn't that what it's all about? We weren't meant to be stressed out. We weren't meant to be constantly overwhelmed by our responsibilities, by these battles. We were meant to be peaceful, at least more peaceful than we are. And that's what I want from you. That's what I desire for everyone who's listening to my voice right now, is the ability to recognize when the battle is not yours. That's all I got for you today. Wishing you love, peace, and joy, and more moments of mental vacations and moments to breathe, because you're worthy of it all. I'll talk to you next week. Ciao.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.